I was thinking kind of, how do you avoid tunnel vision when playing?
So, tunnel vision, there are a couple of different answers to that. One is to play unfocused, is kind of a way that I think about it. So, like, have you ever done one of those, you ever, like, seen one of those optical illusions where you have to unfocus your eyes, but then you see a 3D image on the page?
Yeah, something like that.
So, unfocusing your eyes just means rather than, like, taking in one central thing in the center of the screen, you're allowing yourself to see, like, the totality of the ink in front of you. Like, knowing where is it my color and where is it their color. And, like, that's kind of what you're focusing on. That makes you focus on the whole screen from, like, edge to edge. You don't need to look at your own character. Your own character is always going to be in the same position on the screen. So just, like, knowing where all the other targets are at any one point in time, it makes it a little bit more difficult to aim. Like, I'm missing some of these shots because I'm not looking directly at those targets. I'm looking at everything around. But moving around with your eyes unfocused and then, oh, there's a target, I need to focus on that, and then getting back into this unfocused state is something that can help. And that's not to say that you can't hit shots from there. It's just harder to. But short of, like, something drastic and physical like that, something that I try to set up for myself are psychological triggers for when I need to focus on something. When I need to, like, pay attention to something else. So, for example, enemy ink. Enemy ink is a little bit less scary if there hasn't been movement around it for a while and it's just kind of been sitting there, or if there's a very small amount of it, because it's very unlikely that someone's sitting in there. They're not going to have an advantage, and they're risking a lot by being there. So, enemy ink is something where if it goes down fresh, that's immediately something that's the center of my attention. Regardless of what I was doing, if I'm like, okay, I've got to make room for the Rainmaker. Oh crap, what's that? Having those, oh crap, what's that moments, having those red flags that make you look at a position, or having the game knowledge to know, wait, if I push over there without checking that spot first, there might be someone up there. Oh, there is someone there. Okay, now that's my center of attention. And if I'm focusing on this and then I see, like, wrong ink on the left side, I'm like, oh. So, anything that's the enemy team's color that's happening on the edges of your screen, on your peripheral vision, that's one of my psychological triggers. That's one of my alarm bells. And there are a bunch of alarm bells, and with game knowledge, you'll pick up more of those over time. You'll learn, for example, on certain maps, like on Mako Mart, it should be an alarm bell whenever there is any ink in your left closed. Because that's a flank route, and that's something that if you don't stop, they're going to get behind your backliner. That sort of thing comes with some time, but over time, you know, you'll get punished for missing certain things, and you'll think, how could I have spotted that? And usually it's something like enemy ink, or shots that were fired, or a bomb that came from a certain direction. You can use bombs to track where another player is, so anytime you see a bomb, follow that arc back and think, that's where that came from, that's where that player is right now. So, let's see, what other psychological alarm bells are there? Anything objective related. So, like, if the objective state changes and you weren't expecting it. So, like, the enemy team picked up the Rainmaker. Wait, they shouldn't have the Rainmaker, that's behind us. Holy crap, we need to go back and defend that. So anytime that the tower is changing possession, anytime the zone is changing possession, even if you just see on the heads-up display that the paint on the zone is starting to transition to the other side, that's something that you want to be a psychological alarm bell for you. Whenever a power clam shows up on screen, that's a psychological alarm bell. Whenever there's 1 minute left in the game, that's a psychological alarm bell as long as your team is behind. It really should be something that, like, just is an alarm bell. And you can use the fact that the timer changes to yellow when there's a minute left. So that can be an alarm bell. The 10 seconds left, the timer on screen can be an alarm bell. You kind of set up these Pavlovian triggers these, like, stimuli that you condition reactions to. And that can really help break through your habits, your tunnel vision, your autopiloting, because it can make you all of a sudden reflexively just go, oh, I need to be paying attention to something else now, and go pay attention to that thing.
I noticed it seems that you have, like, almost better awareness than me, but I think it might be that I'm playing too close to my screen. How far away from you are you from your monitor?
I'm probably about a meter away from my TV screen, and it's... how big is the screen? Maybe it's like a 32-inch or something?
Is that something that could be impacting how much I'm seeing outside of what I'm focusing on in the center?
Yeah, you don't want too small and you don't want too big. Too small means that details are difficult to spot even if you're squinting at it from an inch away. And too big means you have to, like, physically turn your head to be able to see stuff. It's like, if you've ever been in a movie theater and had to sit in the very front seats, it sucks. You never want to be up there. It's that kind of problem. So as long as you're not having that sort of issue, I think a lot of it comes down to more, like, of game knowledge things. Of, like, being trained and attuned to those sorts of triggers and knowing what triggers to watch out for. A lot of people, when they talk about esports, they talk about, like, oh, it's so exciting, they have to have such good reflexes to play this. No, they don't. Reflexes are almost never the reason that a top player is a top player in an esport. Usually the reason is they're a huge nerd and they know the game so well that they've already seen this situation before. They reflexively know what to do about it, and they're going to, on the slightest, like, psychological trigger that a certain thing is happening, they're going to have the exact answer ready to go, and they're going to be able to execute it because they've practiced it 100 times. It's game knowledge that really makes a top esports player, not reflexes. So I think with experience, because you've only played for, like, a couple hundred hours, with more experience, there are definitely some things that you'll be able to catch and start training yourself to notice. But part of the point of, you know, having a lesson like this is that I can point out things that I want you to be noticing and responding to in certain ways so that you can add those to your list of, you know, alarm bells that ring in your head.